Hello, honey roses. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Hello, 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 hello. So I got a download, and the download is that you value connection. You make sure that you do thorough. You do thorough. I want to use tarot. I don't know. I think I just want the cards in my hand for now. Maybe I'll use it. Um, yeah, but I'm getting that you value connection. Sorry for the camera shaking because my knee is hitting the table. Um, yeah. So you value connection. So now you do thorough inspection. I feel like you're tired. Yeah. I feel like you're tired of the games that the people play and that the people have played with you for far too long. Like that's enough is enough. Wait, I feel like the camera's a little too close. Let me see. Is that right? No. Is it? I'm all over the place, y'all. Just excuse these moments, okay? Just excuse them. Okay, but anyway, I just feel like you're really tired of people and their ways and you giving so much and not getting in return what you feel that you should. And I always don't feel like you guys ask for much. I just feel like you ask for like loyalty, appreciation, affection. Some love and affection, attention. Did I say affection? I think I did. I think I said it 2 times. So you want affection times 2 times, okay? And that's okay. I feel like that's a part of being in love. That's a part of a relationship. That's a part of the regular formula for a good relationship. Something that has a certain level of bonding. Because when you bond to someone, you really become a union. You become one. So you can't bond with someone that is not aligned with you. It's not going to work. Eventually, everything will fall apart. And then you're going to have to go back to the start, to square one, because that person was not the one. Then you're going to be all done. I think that's very annoying to have to continually go through that process. I mean, I know it's needed because, early on I know some of you date, some of you go on dating apps and connect with people. And maybe for some of you that actually worked, but maybe for some of you that method has not worked well for you. And that's okay. And whoever likes that, that's fine. I know that's not for me. However, I have heard, I don't know personally, but I have heard that people have found the love of their lives on these apps. I don't know how true these stories are, but I feel like it's possible. I just feel like you're tired of, I heard lack of intention. I think there's a point there, Spirit. Thank you. Lack of intention. I feel like many people, they don't have, they don't move with intentionality anymore. Where's the intentionality? That's missing a lot of the times when it comes to people getting connected to others. What are the intentions? And I don't really feel as though many people ask that type of question when they're getting to know someone. Like, get closer. Like, what are your intentions? What is it that you're really looking for in your tribe? What is it that you want? What means something to you? That question will give many answers. I feel like it should. If somebody's blank and just, I don't know what someone can say in one word, there's probably, I feel like there is, you could simplify it, or it could be given with more depth, I think. So it just depends on the person. I just feel like that is a question that it can expand to so many other places if you allow the roots, I mean, the branches to branch off into other forms of thoughts. I just feel like that alone, that question can bring a conversation to many different places. And you can also, you'll be able to tell what the person really values, what is important to that person, you know? And some people, I almost want to say some people don't really have values, or they don't, I don't know, it's almost like some people don't think about that. Some people don't think about it. They just look for whatever it is that they're looking for. Sometimes people just want to be with someone and they just don't want to be alone. But just because you don't want to be alone doesn't mean just be with anybody. I think that that's also a problem. People just not wanting to be alone, so they accept anything that comes their way. And then they end up miserable because the person that they allowed so deeply into their auric field causes a lot of static, friction, and discomfort because that person is not in alignment with them, which I feel is one of the reasons why people are so angry. Oftentimes, people are angry and they get into relationships just to say that they're in one because solitude is invigorating. But when you say the word lonely, I feel like it could be the word, it changes the frequency within our waters, you know? So you hear lonely, that's kind of embarrassing. So I think if people are feeling bad about being on their own and they don't have any hobbies, anything that they love to do on their own, which I feel as though many people don't anymore. They don't have any hobbies. They don't take time to dive into the creator within them. So they're idle. They have an idle mind. An idle mind is dangerous, first of all. Okay. And I know what that's like because I went through that. There was a stage when I moved into my first apartment years ago, like 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah. And I had an idle mind. My mind was so idle because I was used to a certain way of life, of not being on my own in such a way, like my own apartment and all that with my daughter. I wasn't used to that. And it was weird. I had to adjust to it. And in that time of my adjusting, a part of me wanted to reject it, but then a part of me was in love with it. But then I didn't know what to do with that time. I was like, what am I doing with this? I had to really figure that out. And just because I've gone through it and now I understand it and I recognize what I could do with that time. Now, what was once loneliness turned into solitude, because it did feel lonely to me back then because I was trying to adjust to the new. That was new for me because I was always with someone for so long. And then when I was on my own, it was like, wait, this is weird. That was weird. And I knew I needed to be alone because it felt right. I just didn't know what to do with it because I was so used to it. And I feel like many of you could be in that space now where you're alone now. Maybe you were in a relationship, as I was for a long time, and then you get out of one and you don't even know, what is this? I don't even know how to feel. This feels weird because if you're always with someone and then all of a sudden you're not with them anymore, it's different. And you have to adjust to that. And I was in between worlds. A part of me was like, yes, invigorated, wonderful, great. Then the other part was like, but now what? This is weird because I wasn't used to, at that moment in time, I had a desire to get into the artsy aspect of me. However, it felt foreign. A part of it felt foreign, and I was like not knowing what to do. And I feel like that, me feeling like that, I feel like me even bringing this up right now because I didn't expect to, is a part of me expressing to you, or me just noticing that I felt that way. So I feel like there's others. Many times when it comes to someone like me, or like many of you who have overcome a certain obstacle, it is only right that we share what we found on our journey with our brothers and sisters. Because it's like, why not? Why not do that? Why not share if you figured it out? You know? And I know that many of you have figured out so many different aspects of life, and you find comfort in that space now because you figured it out. There's nothing better than that. Than going through something that's very difficult and challenging, and you figure it out, and then you just overcome it, and you're just victorious after that. Because it's almost like it's the war of the mind. In those moments, that's a war of the mind, because I was in between worlds in my own mind, and I had to win that war. Because if I had just been stuck in that feeling of loneliness, right? I don't know what would have happened. I wouldn't be doing everything I'm doing now. I would have chosen not to tap into my creativity. I would have chosen not to do that. And I chose that that's not what I wanted. So you see how choices are so important in our lives. When we make choices, they literally change the trajectory of our lives with the choices that we make, and the thoughts that we choose to take on about ourselves and our own circumstances. And recognizing, that's why I feel like right now you guys are in this mode of recognizing the value of connections and how it's important that you vet people. Should they be really around you? Just because you had a couple of laughs and a few good times doesn't mean that person should be around you. And the way you know is through conversation. I feel like truly the way you get to know a person is through conversation. If you ask the right questions, you'll get the answers that you need that will help you to recognize. It will help you to recognize if that's the person that you want in your life or not. No matter if it's a friend or a romantic relationship, it doesn't really matter. It's about you saying yay or nay to that person in your life. 12 minutes and 52 seconds. Yeah, so the inspection of people is needed. It's valid. That is valid nowadays, because it's almost like I feel, and you tell me if you feel like this is wrong or your take on it, but I feel like people could sometimes get so lonely that they just will accept people into their lives on a surface level, but they don't think about looking within them to see if it's healthy spiritually, mentally, for them to be around that person. Because sometimes you could be around people and they could literally change your whole life for the worse, not for the better. And is that really what you want? If you're going to be with somebody, why not be with someone that's going to change your life for the better? Someone that like grows you, which, or I should say, assists with your growth. That's love. That's a real connection. Because it's either the person that you're going to be with is going to grow you, or they are going to stagnate you or stunt your growth. Sometimes you could be with someone to where they are choosing to live a certain lifestyle that maybe you were living before, but you're gradually leaving from it, and you're no longer interested in that way of living and being. So you start to want to know more. You educate yourself, or you go to some type of school or some training class, and the person that you're with is like, why are you doing that? What do you want to do that for? Why don't you just do what I'm doing? Or why don't you just stay here with me? That is someone that is stunting your growth, because you literally want to go and do things that are going to make you a better you and make you feel better inside, because you're taking action as we should. We're meant to move. We're not meant to just sit still. So when you're with someone like that and they're talking down to you about you growing, that is the sign that you don't just take lightly, because now we're talking about your life and we're talking about your well-being. If you choose to allow this person to speak over your life in such a way, that's like a curse. That is a curse. That's word magic. Because if you listen to what they're saying, and they say it to you all the time, you start to go to this class, course, school, whatever you do, and or you start practicing something, whatever it is that you're into, and the person that you're around the most, whoever that is, no matter if it's a family member or your partner, that you're in a relationship with, if they keep on telling you, or like indirectly telling you, like, yo, maybe you shouldn't do that because, and it's always something negative, and it has nothing to do with trying to really understand you and why you're taking that decision, and if it's right for you, like trying to help you to figure out if it's right. It's not that. It's them just not wanting you to do what they don't want to do. Because some people choose that way, and then they want you to choose that way because they're used to you also being that way. But when you begin to grow, you look at the whole world differently. You look at your own life and your circumstances differently. You're like, no, I can't stay here with you. I can't do this. This is not my life. This is not what I'm meant to do, because you'll feel it within your core. Your core will be telling you, time to go. Time to go. Like a message. Beep, beep, beep. Time to go. Hurry up. Come on. Time to go. Time to go. And the longer you stay there, the more that you delay your blessings, you stagnate yourself. You're just stuck in the same position. You become miserable. You become agitated and frustrated. And you wonder, what is wrong with me? Why am I mad? What am I mad about? Not you trying to blame the emotion of anger and frustration on everything else, but the situation that you're choosing. Not realizing that the reason why you're mad is because you're around someone that's stagnating you, someone that's choosing not to grow, someone that has no desire to grow. So, there's spaces and places that you should be because you feel it within you. You feel this creativity boiling over within you, leading you to where you are meant to be. Meanwhile, you have someone like tugging at you, energetically tugging at you, tugging at you, tugging at you. You just keep getting tugged and not in the right direction. You must realize that. Nobody else can realize that but you. I mean, other people around you can realize that, but you're the only one that can do something about it. Because people can talk until they turn blue, but if you're not going to listen, what are you? What's supposed to happen? What are you supposed to do? Right? So you have to make the decision, no matter what anybody else says. People could tell you, but it's up to you to make the move. You can't just sit there and just continue to deal with a situation that you know is not good for you, but you're staying there and you make excuses for it for like an extended period of time. And before you know it, what you could start, it's just in your mind, or you haven't even gotten a chance to think enough to get to the thought that you will be at in the future. Because sometimes, many times, people can even cloud your judgment, your thinking. If you're around someone that's not healthy for you, they can cloud your ability to really stream from the collective consciousness to get ideas, because they'll have this way about them where they will completely control your mind in a good way. They'll take over the space, like that clean slate energy. They'll take it over and replace it with their nonsense. And whatever they have going on, that's what will be on your mind, because you're in union with someone that isn't in alignment with you, and it's going to completely throw off your future. Which is why so many people, they don't really, they not, you could tell that they're not taking action in life. They're just there, and they're not moving into the space of, which one can call, like, what can I say? An improved version of themselves, like their higher self. We all have access to our higher self, But in order for us to really connect to our higher self, we do have to activate ourselves and believe in oneself, regardless of what anybody else says. Because as soon as you begin to look for other people for validation, you lose. You lose because then you're not being you. And you start to tinker with your own creativity to please others. But that's backwards. It's actually not supposed to be that way. True art is when it comes from your psyche, your mind, body, heart, and soul. And, those that are meant to be a part of your tribe, they'll see you and they will love what they see because it's familiar. You know when somebody is familiar because you feel it, you see it, you know it. It's like glowing, it's illuminating. You can't deny it. It's right in your face. Like, I know this person, that's my family. I know you, it's not hard to tell. So choose to be around your soul family. Your soul family, they're not the ones that's going to tell you that you shouldn't follow your dreams, something that you dream of creating for yourself. Your soul family is going to support you and help you to actually obtain the level of success that you have in mind for yourself. And then they'll even tell you that you can go farther than you even think, because that's true love. Those are the people, those are the ones. Those are the real ones. That's how you can tell if you're around a real one or some hating ass person that don't really like you, but they smile in your face so that they could be spiteful and do whatever else they could do around you because you and then when you laugh and ha ha kiki, you're forgetting the fact that people could lie in your face and be funny style in your face. And you don't check the cues because you begin to ignore them. Don't do that to yourself. Because once you start to ignore the truth of the matter, okay, once you start to ignore that, you begin to suffer. It will always be that way. So don't allow yourself to suffer off the strength of you ignoring the signs, because the signs are there. They can't be hidden. If you're paying attention, you will see them and you will know who is supposed to be around you and who is not. Those that are able to converse with you and they're interested and they if you have an idea, you share it, and then they give you other options that they think could work for you that you didn't even think about, and then there's a flow, that's your people. If you're talking about something, they're like, oh no, what you talking about? You can't even do that. That ain't even right. That's not gonna work. All that. And not unless they say sometimes if somebody says it's not going to work and they actually have a valid reason as to why it's not going to work, then okay. However, but if it's someone who is just a negative Nancy, don't listen to them. They are lying, okay? Lying. So I just wanted to bring that up about you're valuing connections and making sure that you conduct thorough evaluations, like you're really inspecting people, okay? You got to put your Inspector Gadget suit on with the magnifying glass and all of that, the extended arm or whatever he had, the extra long legs. You got to see above the people because you need to know who's real, because if they're not real, they can't be in your sequel. I think that's it for this message. It's just something that was on my mind, but I didn't think I was going to go like the way I did. I never know what I'm going to say. I just start talking. So inspect the people. If they don't align with you and it doesn't feel right and you feel like, is this person being shady? I don't know. Pay attention, because you do know your signals. We are technology, first of all. So when your alarms start ringing and your stomach feel like something talking to me, something is telling me something, your heart doing a thing, and these are uncontrollable responses. You can't control what your body is telling you. When your body speaks, listen to it, because it's trying to tell you something. We are technology on our own, without the PCs and this and the phones. We are technology. Respond to your technology by doing the right thing for your soul and spirit, by actually listening when you feel like somebody is not or should not be around you. Because your body will tell you. You will know. You will know when you don't feel right. And you'll also know when you feel loved. You'll know. And also, it's okay to love people from a distance. See, you can love somebody and no longer be in love with them when it comes to relationships. So you love them from a distance and let them rock out and do whatever it is that they want to do. But that doesn't mean that you have to put up with their ways and be mistreated on a regular off the strength of you saying, oh, I love them. Don't do that to yourself, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And if somebody's not showing you love, just know that you can sever that tie. You don't have to stay there. It's okay. Is there anything else that we want to say? You deserve to be a free thinker. You deserve to freely think about what you want to think about and align your actions with your thought by being intentional. I think that's kind of where I started. Be intentional. What are your intentions? What do you see for your future? What is it that you want? You have any ideas that you want to explore? Allow yourself to flow like that, and when you see sparks of interest within you, go do research about it, explore it, go visit a place that has something to do with what you're in alignment with, so that you can open yourself back up to who you truly are. And one of the most imperative actions to take is to remove individuals around you that are not in alignment with you, because they will completely throw off your frequency and you'll be so confused and you won't know why, and you'll try to blame your emotional imbalance on everything else but what it really is, because many times it's because of people with ill energy around you and you are taking on their energy. We don't really realize how strong our energy can affect one another. Not unless you really think about it and you'll pay attention and you'll know. When you're in an environment where everybody is behaving in a certain way, it's very likely that you may behave that way as well, especially if you're around this environment on a regular basis. And that's just by association. So these are things that you want to think about, because if the environment is leading you to behave and think in a certain way that you don't really want to, but you are because you're there, then that's when you look at the situation and your environment. You're like, I don't want this, so maybe I should change my environment. Maybe I should change the way I think and how I conduct and present myself to the world and to others. Because when you present yourself a certain way, then you're going to be perceived a certain way, and then you're going to be treated a certain way in response to that. So a lot of times people are like, people always talking about me, disrespecting me and all that. And those same ones that talk like that, a lot of the times, they're projecting that energy out into the world. So when you project that type of energy, you're going to get that energy back. And sometimes people are that way when they're like real rowdy all the time. It's because of their environment. And they're so used to being that way that they don't recognize that the energy that they give, they're getting it back, because being in such a foul energy will make people feel foul towards you. Then they're going to want to attack you. And not to say that even if you're not in that energy and you're in a higher frequency that people won't try you, because they always want to try. Especially when they can see you as divinely aligned. People are going to want to try to move you and have you act out of character, just because they want to prove to those that they've already spoken ill about you to that they're right about you, that you're like the most horrible creature in America and you should be like ostracized and canceled. So there's always going to be people like that. The key is to make sure that you are grooming your own life the way you want it to be groomed. You tailor your own world the way you want it to be tailored. You allow who you want to allow into your life. You don't just allow everybody just because they're there, just because you're lonely. If you feel lonely, get active. If you feel like you have an idle mind, read something. Listen to a book if you don't want to read. I know a lot of people don't like to sit down and read because it's just how things are right now. The key is to, I don't know, paint. Go exercise. Go learn a new method of meditation. There's so many things to do. If you choose to, find some new music that you might like. Explore. Learn something. And actively do something. If you're good with your hands, build something. You know, it's these are the little things that bring you out of loneliness into solitude. Solitude is totally different from loneliness because solitude is it's good. It's fun. It's it's like exciting. It is meditation as well. I feel like solitude can be meditation because once you find what you love to do, you'll always have something to do. You'll always have something that it interests you. And that doesn't mean that, oh no, I love my solitude so much that I don't want to be with anybody. But it's important to know how to enjoy time by yourself. Because if you don't enjoy time by yourself and then you get into a relationship, you might become like super clingy and annoying to your person. Because some people that haven't mastered themselves and understanding themselves, they get into a relationship and they're like very clingy to the point where the person feels like they're being like suffocated. Nobody wants to feel suffocated. You know, you want to miss the person sometime so that when you get back to each other, you're like, oh, I missed you. Where you been? Where you been? Get over here. You know, like live on do things you like to do. You have something to talk about. If you're not doing anything, you don't have anything to talk about. And then it's like, what is this? You know? I hope you figured out me. Do you figure out me? I hope you figured out me. Okay, that's it for this message. If you need anything from me, you want to book a coaching call, a reading, or purchase any of my books, you can go to www.milkhoneyrose.org. And you can also check below because there's another store. My fourth wall store is connected to this video. Okay? And you can purchase there. Everything you do, do it with love. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.